everyone, and welcome back to Survive This Crit. Today, we have the absolute pleasure of killing time, no pun intended, with the talented Joey Derby. Joey is a recent graduate of Oklahoma City University with his BFA in acting. He has been working in a variety of repertory theater projects, including a Freddie Mercury tribute show at the Triad in New York City earlier this year, but he is most known for playing the horror icon Stu, aka Ghostface, in Screamed, an unauthorized musical parody at the Majestic Repertory Theatre in Las Vegas, Nevada. This show has gone absolutely viral due to its insanely talented cast on social media and due to Joey's iconic facial expressions that perfectly match Matthew Lillard, the original Stu. So, welcome Joey and his bearded dragon, Iro.
Zyra, I'm Joey.
Welcome to the show, Joey.
Thanks for having me. Scream has been an absolute beast of a project to work on. You know what, doing this, I've literally met some of the coolest people in my life.
What was the audition process like to be a part of Screamed?
Funny thing, I was asked to do it. The director, he knows me, and I've done a lot of projects with him, and he had me in mind for this one, and he asked me to do it, and I was like, hell yeah, love working with you. Always have loved working with you. His name's Troy Hurd. He's a director in Las Vegas. He started Majestic Repertory Theatre back in 2015. So, coming up on 10 years. Crazy. Crazy. That's going to be wild. Yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff in Las Vegas. I mean, I think actually and the reason I love working with him, the reason I love this project, and I love almost all the projects he's done, is I think he's one of the most influential people in Las Vegas, if not I love him, most influential person in terms of theater in Las Vegas, because tangent side conversation, but I think it's worth having, is I grew up in Las Vegas, like Boulder City, right outside of Las Vegas. I went to high school down there. We don't have a strong theater scene. And I mean theater in the same way New York is, where, you walk, even if it's not a Broadway theater, like, you do not have to venture very far in New York to find a theater and find ones that are doing a season. They have a bunch of things going on. We don't really have that in Las Vegas. We have a lot of shows on the Strip, things like Cirque du Soleil. Sometimes they'll do musicals or parodies that get booked at a casino, but we don't have like a domestic, like, local type of like theater scene. And well, I mean, now we do, but like growing up, like, I never really felt that. And so yeah, Troy Hurd, the director of Screamed, this is all just a pinnacle of everything he's been doing there for more than 10 years now.
And you've been a part of this theater scene for the last 10 years. So while your director and mentor has been a big part of creating that, you have too, because you mentioned before we started recording that you've been a part of his shows since you were in high school, right?
Yeah, it was right before he started Majestic. He did a product. We have a summer stock company out here called Super Summer Theater, and he was directing Bring It On, the musical, if you're familiar with that one.
Oh, I'm familiar with that one.
It's a niche Lin-Manuel Miranda involved show. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I love
Personally, never watched it, but you know what? I bet you was hilarious.
No, I never watched the movie, and then I did that show. It was so fun. It's just a cheerleading musical. It's perfect. But he was directing that, and I auditioned, and man, I was like 15, 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And got in that, which was mind blowing. And then met a lot of the people that he liked, that he worked with, and then he started the theater the next year. And I remember Little Shop of Horrors was the first show they did. I wasn't in that, but I saw it. That was the first show done at Majestic. And then I was in the end of that season when they did in their
Oh my
production of
goodness.
Carrie the musical at the end of
There
the
was a
season.
musical about Carrie? Oh
Oh,
my
It's
goodness.
really
yeah.
fun.
It's really fun, and it's actually it's a cool history about it. It's like one of the most notorious Broadway flops. Yeah,
Well, even
it's
worse than Spider-Man Into the Dark or whatever it was called. I don't know
no
if you heard of that
Spider-Man
one.
might be infinitely worse.
Yeah, Spider-Man's definitely worse, but Carrie, I mean, it definitely has its history, like Joey said.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I
So,
can't even begin to understand how they would handle the whole blood scene and then just like keep that going for the rest of the play. But anyway.
It's cool. It's cool. Girl gets actually dumped with what like I mean when we did it, it was fake blood, but yeah, she got just
doused.
all that. Yeah, you saw it. It's cool. I know there's a lot of places that for the sake of repetition and safety, sometimes regarding like equipment and everything, will opt for an effect of some
Mm.
kind, like a lighting effect or a I've seen versions of it where they use fabric and everything. Troy is a horror geek. He's a horror geek to the max. And oh yeah, we did just about every gruesome theater magic that we could. And that was like something having real blood, having wild deaths. We actually there was a clip of our production of Carrie that went viral, not to, like it was smaller, and I remember it was on Twitter. Twitter got a hold of it. And it's this clip of this person I know named Robin who is playing one of the boys in it. And literally it's like when Carrie gets dumped and he's like, Carrie, no, no. And she grabs him and goes like that. And the actor, Robin, did a back bend and we had a effect
Oh
happen
my goodness.
and it looked nasty. It looked gross. Like
Oh
it was
my
good. It
gosh.
was good.
Oh, that's perfect.
There's a lot of really cool and so he's always been about that stuff. He's always been a horror geek and
Yeah.
loves the gruesome like edgy stuff. And I love
And
it. I
horror
love it.
musicals are such a fun niche that not enough people explore because it
And it
combines like two companies of nerds together and it unites them as one. All the horror nerds,
yeah.
all the musical theater nerds are coming together, just like Screamed. It really does that really well.
Mhm.
And I did want to ask, so you are playing an iconic character, and a lot of the
Yeah.
comments that I've seen talk about how your facial expressions so cleanly match what Matthew Lillard does. So I'm really
Mm.
curious what your character process was of getting into the head of such an iconic character and like how you made it your own as well. Can you kind of walk us through how you did that?
Yeah. So what's funny is I've been told before I look like Lillard. That's not new.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually funny because at OSU, for anyone watching, we went to the same college.
Yeah.
And in our audition technique class that was paired with our on-camera acting class, we did this project talking with Bill Langan, talking about type, like what's your typecast and everything. It's especially with like film auditions. You walk in, it's what people think of when you first enter the room. And one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that I give off when I first enter a room, it's the way I move, it's the way I talk, it's the way I look, is you look at me and you're like, that guy definitely smokes weed. Like he that it's I and there's something like it's like the surfer stereotype. It's like the I call it like the Valley Girl white dude. Like
Yeah. The
Yeah.
SoCal
it's
white boy. Like
yeah,
Mm.
it's a
chilling on the
type.
beach.
It's just when you walk in, it's just what do people think? And so the exercise was pick three actors that you physically look like. You just straight up like your face just looks like them,
Mm-hmm.
and then present it to the class. And then ideally, you're gonna pick one out of there that you really look like them. Now look at their work history. Look at the roles they've done. Those are good roles for you to submit. for to go after, because when you walk on camera, especially, that's going to instantly read. Theater, you get away with a lot more. Like, I mean, like that's like our musical. Like, there's actually a line in the show about that, like horrendous wigs, or oh no, absolutely abysmal wigs. But like the wigs are good, but you know what I mean. You can actually put on a wig.
With
and
theater, you can get away with a lot more and leave more up to the imagination than film. Is like it gives it all to you right in front of you.
You're literally right there. You can't escape your face. But no, the one I landed on was Matthew Lillard. Everyone was like, "Wow, you really look like him." So there's like, I'm not gonna lie, there's like an edge there, is that I just look like him, and I kind of already act like him. I'm kind of already like a SoCal like type of white dude. I mean, I'm in Las Vegas. We're neighbors. Like,
I can see you giving off those vibes right now. It's great. I love it. I'm loving it because I'm kind of a Matthew Lillard fan. I love all the things he's in. So
he's
it's just
great.
Like,
oh, he's great. I think he has a fantastic career. Like, and I mean, really playing like absolutely iconic characters like Shaggy. Like we all
oh my goodness,
Shaggy. We all remember the Shaggy memes. Oh yeah. But no, so me looking like him and already kind of acting similar to that is definitely like I mean it's what people comment on, like right when they see it. And we were going into this process fully aware of it. Now, what was actually challenging was watching the movie over and over, and watching scenes of him over and over, and trying to not, because I will say I don't think that I play Stu exactly as he is in the movie, because we're not playing the movie, we're playing the parody universe of the movie.
Yeah. So you're like a scary movie alternate timeline almost. Because it is
basically. Everything's multiverse now, so why can't this too?
Scream is a multiverse universe.
And so, but there's certain lines that everybody knows. It's the way he delivers them. It's the things he does with his hands, with his tongue.
Yes. Oh yeah. That is one thing I noticed in
with
the videos
his tongue.
Too. He's very active with his tongue the whole time, and it really stands out and shows how brilliant of an actor he is, and how brilliant you are for picking it up.
Well, you want to know what's really funny about Matthew Lillard? Scream was his first role.
Oh yeah,
wasn't an actor.
That's right.
He wasn't an actor.
I think I heard about that story.
He got that role kind of on happenstance. I've heard like different stories about it, and I don't want to exactly like he was like inexperienced. No, he's brilliant, and that's why. But that's why I think he does certain things like that are so interesting, is because I think with because I've seen it happen with a lot of like acting training or performance training in any type of way. You get these people that say, "Oh, that thing, you can't do that thing," because they don't like that thing.
Yeah, they try to take away.
But a lot of people might. And it's funny because it was actually at OCU, and I'm alum now, so who cares? I'll talk. I'm not gonna like talk, but I'll talk my. It was about, there was a few professors, and I appreciate their criticism of it, because it can be bad, it can be cheesy, it can be cheap, is touching your own face during a scene. You know, like it can look like that. It's where you're like, oh, I'm a sleuth, I'm investigating you. Like it could do that. But there was an actor in our production of, well, I wasn't in it, but like our school's production of To Kill a Mockingbird. If you noticed, he had this thing that he did all the time, where he would scratch the corner of his mouth. I was playing Atticus. He would scratch the corner of his mouth. And it was a really interesting choice because of where he did it.
And it was consistent, and so there's stuff throughout. Like, so it was like a quirk that he continued on.
Yeah, there's with Stu in the movie that you notice, there's things he sticks his tongue out about, and there's things, and actually like those moments that it gives a lot of insight into his character, because he's obvious. He's actually I mean, okay, we've all seen the movie, where I think we're gonna
spoilers are
I mean, this thing has got, the spoiler of the movie has gone viral. So like I can't but I think Stu is actually way more obvious than Billy. Of course, not when you first watch it.
Yeah, that's true. Not
Yeah,
when you
right.
first
when you
watch
take
it,
that
but if you're
second look,
looking
you're like
for,
looking.
He's actually like what's that part? We don't actually say this line in the show, but what's that part in the beginning about where he's like, yeah, you stick the knife in its belly and you cut all the way up. Like you just think he's goofing around.
Oh yeah. He's talking about this is
Just so
how
you know.
you would gut a guy,
Yeah.
and this is why a woman couldn't do it because you see, yeah, he's like obviously the killer couldn't be a woman because this is how you gut a guy, and only a man has the balls to do that.
Exactly. And so, but the thing is, why he's so obvious about it is Stu is actually, and it seems like a cheap objective. I will say, it really does. It seems like a cheap objective, but he just wants to mess around and have fun. And not just, he doesn't just want to mess around and have fun, but he wants to have fun with his friend.
Yeah.
With his
Well,
friend, his actually the guy that I think he's in love with.
Yeah, that's been confirmed by the writer.
He's in love with Billy. Whether or not he's like actually aware of it or not, he is.
Yeah.
And he knows that he cares about him.
Yeah.
But whether or not he knows he's in love with him, I don't know. Up to you. But he is. I don't think Billy is.
Oh yeah,
I don't
no.
think Billy's in love with Stu.
Billy seems a bit more self-absorbed.
He entertains it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He likes the attention. He entertains it. But I don't think like Stu loved Billy, but I don't think Billy loved Stu. Billy liked Stu. And maybe he liked Stu like that just a little bit, you know.
You never know.
Wanted to know.
Nev Campbell, she was quoted talking about that relationship exactly how you summed it up. That was like,
oh really?
And Kevin Williamson wrote those two characters specifically to have like this queer-coded relationship with each other that isn't totally clear to the audience, but that like there's chemistry.
But that's so of the era. That's so 1996. I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't born yet, but like I trust me, bro. That's so of the era that it's painfully obvious no one's gonna say it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
we're not going to show you and no one's going to say it, but it's painfully obvious.
Yeah. Well, especially in 2023 where we're looking at things from a very different perspective. But that kind of leads me to like the cast has such great chemistry. That's one thing I've noticed. And it's not your first jukebox musical because you did do the Freddie Mercury tribute show. But what is it like being part of such a large ensemble show where everyone has big songs, everybody gets their chance to shine, and your guys' chemistry is really reliant on each other? What's that been like compared to some of the other work you've done?
I mean, dude, the cast is just great. Honestly, like we go out all the time. We're all really good friends. Like in some, actually, what's crazy is Ray Winters, the guy who plays Billy. I met him on this production. I had seen him a couple times because we have mutual friends here in Las Vegas at a couple of different events and stuff, but I never really talked to him and everything. But no, we started doing the show, and dude, me and him are besties. I love Ray Winters. He's amazing.
I mean,
amazing
it shows
guy.
too. It shows you guys have great chemistry in this show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and that was part of it. Is because I realized how fun, how easy he is to work with, and like, but then Katie Marie Jones, I've known her, but she was the main girl in Bring It On. That's how I've known her for a long time too.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's incredible. Always love working, and she plays Tatum, so she plays my girlfriend in the show.
That's so fun.
It's hilarious having known her when I was like 15 or 16, and now I'm 24. I'm like my girlfriend.
That's so much fun.
No, it's so good.
I gotta ask, because this show has gone viral. Has any of the original cast, like, have you guys connected with them at all? Anybody from the Scream universe?
Oh, I don't think anybody directly from the Scream universe. I heard from close sources that Jamie Lee Curtis has heard about the show. I'm pretty sure that's confirmed. I'm pretty sure that didn't come to me in a dream.
Okay.
But it's funny because we have a Randy in our show.
Who's in love with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh my god, it's so cute. And have you seen the clip of Iris?
I've seen the
Wait,
clip
no,
where
I
Randy
haven't.
is running around with a poster of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, that's
Yes,
what it's from.
that's
It's from Iris, and he starts singing. I forget what that song's called. I don't want nobody else.
Yeah,
That
he's
was
singing to Jamie
Sure.
Lee Curtis while
Anybody else?
Oh,
Like
when
holding this,
I know.
yeah,
It's
holding the poster. It's so cute.
So for this particular show, what's been like the most cherished memory that you've had by being a part of this show?
Oh man, there's a lot. There's a lot of really good moments. Wow, that's tough. Because it's literally been such a fun time. Like I really could not ask for a better group to work with. Man, I gotta say, I think it was because I guess, and it's partly in retrospect, but it was when we figured out because we in rehearsal we knew we were going to do Backstreet's Back for the end, right? And
Yeah.
that was like, that's hilarious, right?
Oh, it's so
Like if
good.
you've ever seen This Is the End, that ending scene with Backstreet's Back is lit. I don't know why it has a good place at the end of something, but it just does.
Yeah, I think
But
I want to say This Is the End is probably the movie that started making that kind of like a horror adjacent song somehow.
somehow it was a domino for sure. It was a bigger domino for sure. And no, it was the moment in rehearsal because we were initially gonna just do the lyrics of Backstreet's Back, right? Just the normal lyric. My original, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I the only one? Yeah. Am I sexual? Yeah. So we were originally gonna do that, and actually there was gonna be a funny bit of like it would be me and Billy alternating like, am I original? Like I would say, I'm original. Yeah. He'd go, am I the only one? Yeah. And then I would go, am I sexual? And then no one would say anything.
Goodness.
I love that. That would have been so cute.
Which is hilarious, right? But then we were like, no, we need, because we realized we didn't have any line talking about that Billy and Stu killed her mom.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we gotta have something in there, and we didn't want to just put a line in that's like, yeah, we killed your mom, because it's just like, oh, exposition, exposition, exposition. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was just boring. And then I just remember that moment in rehearsal when, and like, not to brag, but a lot of it was my idea. I helped write that because I was just like, that's funny. But then I remember it was me and Ray. I go back and forth, and it's like, no, that's good. Did we kill your mom? Yeah. Was she the only one? No. And then was it sex? And I was like, what sexual? And I was like, and so I guess, but what I'm saying is that's probably my favorite memory because in retrospect, that's the little moment of magic that created the big magical moment that's now the thing with this. And so
yeah, it's like the crux that
crazy.
Everybody looks for now. It's so iconic.
Lightning in a bottle, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy that so were you a part of writing any other little aspects, any lines that made it in, or was that because that primary one is what I see on Instagram the most.
I'll tell you right now, one of the best things about working with Troy is that if you have a good joke and you just throw it in rehearsal, he'll decide.
Dang.
Sometimes
so
you win.
Get to ad lib.
Sometimes you win. Sometimes you win. Yeah, he'll let you try. That's why I love him. He's really one of the best directors I've ever worked with, and what I'm really happy about with this, because honestly, if anybody deserves the recognition for this, I mean, of course, it's a cast. Cast is great, but if anybody deserves recognition for this, it's Troy Hurd, because he's been trying to bring a name to this in Las Vegas for a long time. And he's great at collaborating with people, and it's awesome that his work is actually getting eyes everywhere, because he really is the mastermind behind so many things there with the show. And yeah,
That's
amazing guy.
Did he write it as well, or was he primarily the director?
He wrote the script. Yeah, and the guy who did the arrangements was Brandon Scott Grayson.
So if we're going to transition here, I want to hear a little bit more about your acting career. So you mentioned that you got started in theater in high school. What's been your general path in the theater industry? And how
like I said, I grew up in Boulder City, which is suburb, little town right outside of Vegas. And I had a choir teacher that helped, named Amanda Hallam. Love her. Always name drop her because she's amazing. Changed my life. And she helped get me into this performing arts high school in Las Vegas called Las Vegas Academy, which was downtown, not far from where Majestic is now. And I went there for choir originally because I was like, oh, I can sing. That's crazy. And I was doing that. And then, but I was always hanging out with the theater kids. And I noticed that like choir's cool. I like singing, and classical music is great. But man, they seem to be having a lot more fun over there.
The theater kids are always the ones having the more fun, right?
Not exactly a choir boy. I'm a bit too abrasive. And
no, you bring in the new edgy look to choir, you know,
to choir.
Exactly. You can bring in a whole new spin to it. Yeah. I'm choir, but I'm also edgy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
So I switched my major over to musical theater. That was after having been in a production at my high school, like in the ensemble, and then doing Bring It On over the summer in the ensemble. And I was like, I need to get good at this. I love this. And then I did musical theater for 2 years at my high school, and then did college auditions, got into OCU, but got into their acting. Their BFA acting. I didn't get in for musical theater, but I was like, hey, I like acting, and maybe I need to get better at that because I got the singing thing down just a little bit. And then went to OCU for acting and loved it. I truthfully loved all of my professors. I loved OCU's acting program. It was tough doing that through COVID, but I was in a bunch of shows there, but I never did a musical. I never did a musical all of college. And it's funny because I did a lot of musicals in high school. I did like Dogfight.
I love Dogfight. That's such a good musical.
Dogfight. Man, what a time. 42nd Street. That was a good time. Nice. That's where I was a dancer third. Where we did Footloose. That was actually the first show I ever did. It was Footloose.
That had to be fun.
It was like,
oh yeah,
it was fun. It was like, and then at OCU, I did a bunch of plays. Did a bunch of Shakespeare. Actually, that was like what I did more than anything else was Shakespeare at OCU, and never did a musical. Did voice lessons the whole time. Mary Brosina Weirick was my voice teacher. Love her. She was amazing. She was incredible. She helped me find my rock voice that I now use a lot. And then I got out, and I did. I was working at this singing bar. It was a piano bar where all of your bartenders are singers. It's called Don't Tell Mama in Las Vegas. It started up in New York, and they have a location in Las Vegas. And that's where I met a lot of really cool people. That's where I met the guy named Jonathan Pennington, who was directing the Freddie thing. And he said he needed a Freddie, and he liked the way I sang because I sang there all the time. And we hooked it up and took it, did a one night only Freddie Mercury tribute up in New York at the Triad Theater. I found out in the green room that's an off-Broadway credit, baby.
Let's go.
I had no idea.
That was Broadway credits.
That was a registered off-Broadway theater, and I found out right before I went on. I was like, huh? Like, I was like, what? That's crazy. Like, but I came back after college, and I've been living here since, back home, like with my family and everything. Like, I live with my brother, which is nice. And and then Troy hit me up about this, and he was like, I need you around here. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I gotta pay my dues. I need to pay my dues back to Majestic, because I really do. I owe Majestic everything. Those are by far some of the most fun productions I've ever done in my life. Remember, I was in Carrie, and I was in Animal Farm. We did a production of Animal Farm with music. Some music, wasn't a musical, but with some music. It was really, really cool.
It seems like they
Yeah,
do a lot of
dirt
really
pit.
cool experimental theater. Like George
Yes,
Orwell is not
absolutely.
someone you think of like, I'm going to put George
Absolutely.
Orwell on stage.
We had it in like a thrust setup where you
nice.
have seats here, and then like here, and then the stage is kind of arena, and it was a dirt pit. We brought soil in there.
Oh my goodness.
It's actually cocoa shavings because they're a lot cleaner, easier to clean up.
Oh,
Doesn't
and it's yummy
harbor.
if you get any in your mouth.
I mean, not like yummy, but like it's also reducing the chance of like bugs and stuff
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
taking a residence in there. But yeah, dirt pit. We were rolling around the dirt. It was crazy. And yeah, he does a lot of he's just a big fan of like immersive theater, and that's a lot of what I've done with him. And talking about like my acting career, that is what I've become really interested in. I think it's a really good way of making theater new because it's if it's an experiential, because it's with the phones, right? It's with the phones, it's with the screens, which I'm not gonna hop on a soapbox and be like about that, but there's something to be said about the attention span because of that. With That's why like getting to a movie theater is now even hard. I can just stream it at home. So what's the appeal of theater when, okay, just record it and I'll watch it, I guess, whatever, because you're just doing it on that stage. It's like a screen, a typical like proscenium type of show. It's like watching it on a screen. That fourth wall is the screen, and but if I can watch it on the screen that I'm always on, then why do I need to go see it? Well, what if it's an experience of its own? People like escape rooms. That's why those immersive escape rooms are fun. You're doing something. You're actually being changed. Because and that's what's cool about our show is that we Scooby Doo the place all the time, running through the back entrance, the front entrance, there's side one, and the people are popping up here, and you're like, what the hell's happening? And it's happening around you, and that's what makes it really cool. And I think it's what the future of theater is gonna kind of have to be. Not completely, people are still gonna like proscenium stuff, but in terms of what I'm really interested in doing is stuff like that. Why
as
not?
much experimental theater as you can. Would you say that's like the greatest value that you've gained from being a working actor, is understanding where theater is going to from here?
I mean, I still don't really understand where it's going from, and I try to keep myself from being pessimistic about it, because I think it's really easy to, because I mean, hey man, there's some that'll argue it's a dying art form. It's something that actually is a dying art form that we're probably not going to see much. I mean, it's still going to be around, but man, has it dropped in demand is opera.
Oh yeah.
Opera, at least in the United States. At least in the United States, like it's not. I mean, the Met is still going to be there. Like it's not that, and they're still going to sell out to insanely rich people. But among most people, it's not the most demanded art form. And I've had a thought for a while that theater is kind of in the same direction. That with like commercialization of stuff like and stuff, which I'm not gonna directly like on. I just think that it's content in the same realm. It's the same way with people, with what their YouTube algorithm ends up being and stuff. It's just content. Is that something as dedicated as theater is going to be harder? Like if Angels in America Part 1 and 2 were written today, I think it'd be hard to get people to see that show.
I think so too. I mean, it's a really heavy show, and I think it's easier.
And it's long.
People. It's long too. Yeah,
it's a long time commitment.
A lot of people are not even wanting to watch Killers of the Flower Moon, directed by Martin Scorsese, right now because it's 3.5 hours long. So are you saying that a lot of it is that people don't have the attention span and people are not
Yeah,
willing to go see it in person when they know they
it's
can
that.
stream it on their phone?
And so honestly, I think what's the biggest strength of our show is that one, we're gonna make damn sure this is sub 2 hours. The longest this show could possibly run in one night is 2 hours. We made damn sure of that, and I'm glad we did, because it also, for comedy, it just keeps it alive if everything's
it keeps it fresh.
Right.
If you dragged it on, I imagine people would get too bored after a while.
Right. And oh God, it's got to be really funny. Like, if it's going on that long, it's got to be damn hilarious. And there's an experience to it. So it's not a huge commitment. There's an experience to it. I mean, we encourage yelling and screaming and, rowdiness. It's a rock show. It's all like 90s, like alternative grunge. Like it's a rock show. Get fucking crazy with it. Like, and now people have gotten a lot of idea about people like singing in the audience and stuff, and it's great. And I think that's it, because people still like going to concerts.
Oh yeah,
concerts have made a huge comeback lately. I mean, with the Taylor Swift concert taking over the whole world, basically.
People like an experiential thing, like a concert. And so if theater tries to be more of that,
higher energy and more interactive, like you said.
Yeah. But what I find really important is that if you get shows like that are fun and they hook you into the experience of being in a theater, and that can give people the patience and the interest to sit through something like Angels in America Part 1, and then tomorrow run it back and do Part 2. Yeah. Because that's how they ran it, is you would see both parts on different days, because it's only a matter of time until there's something like that written, and I hope people have the attention to see it and to let it become something like, I'm just using Angels in America because that was so huge, I mean?
Yeah, it was a huge show. For people who don't know, it was a huge show in the early 2000s and late 90s. It was a ginormous play. Well, and so Joey, I gotta ask, because you've talked a lot about the challenges that the theater industry faces, but what are some of the greatest challenges that you personally have faced as a working actor?
Rent.
I mean, at least you're honest.
Hey, got to pay the bills,
That's it. But you know what? I'll say it right now. I think post college, I've been incredibly blessed to have been paying a majority of my bills, although not that much money overall, through performing.
Which is amazing.
Since I've been out of college.
It's actually dream of doing.
It's actually, and you know what, I've like odd jobs here, but no, it's straight up majority of my money has been from performing. When I was working at that bar, of course, that's like a mixed income. I'm also serving, but I was singing easily like 15 songs in a night sometimes. That's pretty heavy. At least 10. I think that's about all I can really be grateful for. Or well, that's not all I can be grateful for. That's something I should be really grateful for, is that no, I'm working. I'm making money, and that's tough. And I'm glad the strike's over. I'm about to get a second job here anyway. Like just for like my own comfort and everything.
And that makes sense. Like, you're a working actor. Most working actors have a second job.
Hey man, I think that's the challenge. I mean, as for the like, I think what a lot of people the challenge that a lot of people face with acting, which is the are people gonna like it? Am I good enough? I've you know what? I'm happy for it, but I've kind of just a lot of that worry out of the way. I'm just worried literally how I'm gonna get enough money to do things that I need to do, that I want to do. I'm happy to work with just about anybody on a project and see how we can make this work, especially if you're paying me. It's my job. So like I'm supposed to figure it out, try to make it work,
Yeah.
offer as much creativity as you can. And I guess like that would be one of my challenges, I guess, is trying to find, instead of, hey, just hit me up if you need help, actually seeking out, submitting myself, actually putting myself out there, instead of just being like, I'll get along with just about anybody. Give me a job. Like
In true Matthew Lillard fashion.
but I'm not that worried. I don't know. I tried to toss a lot of the worry about, like, oh, am I good enough? No. Just go and show them. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. Literally, Matthew Lillard got a job just by being goofy. But no, he showed up to the callback with somebody, and they asked him if he wanted to read, and then he got it.
Yeah, he beat out
Like if that dude
hundreds of other people.
that literally does a lot of things that I'm telling you right now. A lot of directors, a lot of people are like, that's not right. You're sticking your tongue out too much. It was perfect for that project. And you'll never know until somebody sees you. So biggest challenge is make money and feed myself and my lizard. And as for that, I'm actually just looking forward to doing more things and hopefully meeting more people because of this experience, because I'd love to do theater. I'd love to do film. That's what I actually want to talk about. My biggest challenge is I need to actually pick a focus on what I want to do, because I'll tell you right now, I don't have one. You got a singing gig? I'd love it. Film gig? I'd love to do it.
Would you say that's your advice to other people trying to get into the acting industry? Like focus on what is like narrowed down, whereas you want to focus in?
Well, that's something that's so contrary to me though, is because I'm like, never deny yourself the experience to try something new.
I love that.
If you have a focus, like that's the problem. I'm ADD as hell, man. Like if you have a focus, like you want to do film, then do film. Don't be afraid to try other things. Like if you're offered, it's up to you. But if you have a focus, then yeah, oh my God, dive in it, drown in it. Like that's perfect, because then that's how you master something. That's my problem, is I've never quite mastered anything because I'm just interested in way too much. But hopefully somebody likes that. Hopefully somebody likes the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, you know what they say is being a jack of all trades is better than being a master of one. Being familiar with.
No, I think both are useful. I think both are equally useful. I think you need people that can do a little bit of everything, and you need people that are really good at one thing. Man, it's just like D&D for real.
We're big D&D nerds here, so you're speaking our language.
Man, I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, baby.
I want to play Baldur's Gate so bad.
Oh my God.
I gotta download that.
Well, so before we fully pivot out of here, I want to do a couple rapid fire, like horror related questions, and then talk about how we can keep up with you. So, what is the first horror movie you remember seeing and why?
The Grudge.
The Grudge.
The Grudge. Ooh. Yeah.
Was it a good experience or was it kind of
terrifying? Terrifying. I was so little.
Do you remember how old you were?
Oh man, I was like first grade or something.
Oh my goodness.
I was like first, second grade or something, and our friend, that was like our neighbor, showed it to me and my brother, and they were like, and I was the youngest, so they're like, come on. I was like, I'm not chicken, I got this.
You did not got this.
Did you?
Scarred, bro.
Did you have a lot of sleepless nights after that?
Yeah.
Like 6?
Oh yeah. Had to ask my brother to like walk me around the house if it was dark. Like I was like, Jake, you gotta help me, buddy. Okay. that broken jaw lady gonna be around the corner, dude. I'm so scared.
So, what was your least favorite horror movie you've seen then, and why, of all time?
Oh man, I've seen some bad ones. I've delved pretty deep into the severely disturbing movie. God, it's a tie between Which, God, what an awful tie that is. It's between Solo and a Serbian film.
Oh,
Ooh,
I
okay.
haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
literally
Either.
the cringe is exactly correct. Both are I guess the one that's a bit more well known would be Clockwork Orange. Hate it.
Okay.
Hate it.
What do you hate about
Disturbing.
it?
Oh
Just
God, it's just, man, it's one of those movies that you got to take you got to take a hot shower after.
mm,
Really?
It
I
makes you feel grimy.
ugh.
really I've never seen it. What about it like makes you feel that way?
What, a Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The opening scene, which I won't talk about because it's horrendous.
Oh boy.
Solo is really bad. A Serbian film. Actually, no, a Serbian film probably wins. I mean, it's ridiculous though. I don't know. It's
So it's
just
like it's the gore, like physically seeing what happens to the bodies and stuff is just too much.
no, because I like Saw.
Yeah, it's true. I was gonna say
Mhm.
that's
I like
your
Saw.
favorite.
I'll say it.
So-
I'll say it. I think Saw is a pretty good series. I mean, I think especially having watched, like, us in the cast, we've watched like all of like the Scream movies now
Mhm.
together, and I had never seen the others. I'd only seen the first. It's a really good series. Like, Scream is awesome.
It's a
But
great franchise.
yeah, the first experience was The Grudge. Most disturbing one was Solo, probably. Oh God, yeah, that one was bad.
All right, so
Literally
everyone needs
worse
to
than
take that off their watch list.
worse than Human Centipede, dude.
Ugh.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
Yeah,
way
okay.
worse. Oh, way worse.
yeah.
Oh,
So
That
then
puts it in a comparable universe. Yeah.
Human Centipede is a little goofy, and that's what.
Now it is. Probably when it first came out, people was just
Yeah,
horrific.
which makes it not as
yeah.
bad. Solo's not goofy. It's very serious, and it's.
Would you say Human Centipede is worse than like Tusk? Have you heard of Tusk?
Oh, I've seen Tusk.
Oh boy.
There is a
I
period of your life where you haven't seen Tusk, and there's a period of your life where you have seen Tusk.
I still have to see it. I had a kid show me a clip from it, and it's just like I
It's
took one look and I was like, no,
if you're
never.
ready for that kind of a pivotal experience, watch Tusk. Not it's it's not a great watch. I mean, it also kind of
No.
is. It's wild.
It's a good bad horror movie.
I
then.
love Kevin Smith. I'll say it. I love Kevin Smith. Also, the movie's a comedy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Let's be no, it's like horribly disturbing, but it's framed as a comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's one of those.
It's
So,
yeah, it's Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
What would you say is your least favorite trope when it comes to horror films?
That nobody grabs a weapon. Are you kidding me? Dude, I'm literally that's
ready to
you're
fight. Let's go.
You're telling me we evolved the ability to throw things that threw humans to the top of the food chain as we've figured out how to throw a rock? And you're telling me psycho killer just broke in your house, you're not gonna grab a knife or like a stick or something heavy to throw at them? I think it's instinctual.
Yeah, and it's at least nice when they grab something. But like one thing I've noted in movies this past Halloween season is that sometimes people will just grab things that do not make sense as far as like defending them.
My thing is, I will never fault the first girl. You know?
Yeah, because
the
she
opener,
doesn't know what's coming. Yeah.
The opener that gets killed, all right. I mean, sucks. But everyone that knows about it, and you're still not grabbing a weapon. I'm walking around. You would be on the hunt for a gun. You wouldn't even be on the run from the killer as much as you would be on the hunt for a decent weapon to fight it with. That's my least favorite trope. I like when people fight back against the killer. Yeah. Oh no, I think it's scarier if they're fighting back and it's not working. That's way more terrifying.
Yeah,
it demonstrates some power for the killer.
Yeah, you're rooting for the hero the whole time too. So I gotta ask then, because one question that we ask is, are you a fight, flight, or freeze when it comes to confrontation? Are you saying that you would be a fight based on how you analyze all these other horror characters?
I'm definitely a fight. Yeah, when it comes to confrontation, I'm definitely a fight. I mean, I'm also flight if it seems more worth it. Like, or if it seems not as worth it to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if
Mhm.
you're just talking about like normal confrontation with people, so sometimes I'm perfectly happy like not having a conversation or something
Mhm.
because I know it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But like most of the time, no, I'm fine with having confrontation. I like arguing. I'll say it.
Mm.
That's not a bad thing. More people
That's
need to like arguing.
that's
So
fun.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of hilarious.
So if you were going to survive against Stu and Billy, if you were targeted by them,
Oh,
as them as Ghostface, how would you get out of that situation?
how would I mean, I'd have a knife too.
Mhm.
You'd be like the third killer. Surprise!
I'd have a knife too because I'm sorry, you pull up on me in that ghost face mask and I pull out an identical knife. How are you gonna feel? Truthfully, what you thought this was gonna go a lot easier, huh?
So would you just
Or
always have like a knife on you in that type of
or
situation?
something with reach
Hmm.
because something with reach like a baseball bat or like just
Oh yeah.
even
Nice.
like a broomstick because if you keep them away, I feel like I'd have a decent shot.
Mhm.
Nice.
Also, I actually, I changed my mind. Actually, not a knife. I would have a bludgeoning device because it seems to me that Ghostface is pretty weak to bludgeoning damage.
Mm.
He gets
Yeah,
So you
knocked
would
down
want
a
to have
lot.
something like a hammer or something that you can just like
Yeah.
lock them
Oh,
in the side
yeah.
of the
Mhm.
head.
Like a framing hammer. Like,
Take them
Yeah.
out.
how would I survive against Stu and Billy? I'd beat their ass. That's how I'd survive.
I look forward to seeing that. That would be I would
I mean,
watch that for
okay.
sure.
To be fair, they're mortal killers. So, like,
That's true. They're
of
not
course,
immortal.
my plan would fall apart if it was Jason. Because have you seen with every scene where people try to fight Jason, you're done. It's
Yeah, you're
actually
gonna
like the
die.
worst thing to do. You just wore yourself out. You're done for.
You
Yeah,
know what?
100%.
I feel like you would miss a great opportunity though if you were specifically up against Stu and Billy, and if Stu wasn't in costume. If you just failed to not do like a mirror scene with him just to see if you could pull it off.
Like he's talking at me, and I just start doing everything that he's doing
Exactly.
and freaking him out.
Like, is
It's
it a
me from
mirror?
the future.
Confusion debuff.
Yeah.
Or actually even better, disguise and deception Billy into thinking I'm Stu. And I'm like,
He's
it's
the
me.
guy.
That's the fake one.
That'd be so good. So
Or
I
if he's
think
not there, I convince Billy that I'm Stu, like, hey man, whoa. And then as soon as he lets his guard down,
Exactly.
I think you would survive in that universe. I
yeah,
think you would.
I'd be fine.
So I had two more quick questions. So your show, we found out it just got picked up for an open run starting in January.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel that you're going to keep diving into such a juicy character and musical?
Great. I mean, I love working with the people. It's just a fun time. Honestly, it's just like what I look forward to doing in the week, which is
Yeah.
great. Just fantastic. And we're getting more on the team. We're getting understudies. We're getting, I think we're gonna revamp some things, make some things smoother, and yeah, there's a lot to get ready with the show. I mean, there's a lot of potential with, and I honestly don't know how much I'm allowed to say.
Okay. Yeah.
I just
If
know we're
there's some
coming
things you
back.
can't say,
I
that's
just know
fine.
we're coming back.
That sounds great.
Yeah. It's okay. Feel free to send us the entire script, later on.
Yeah. There's other things that are entirely possible, and yeah, it's
And that
cool.
you cannot say yet. But
I just
so
I don't want to get in trouble.
no,
I
that's
don't
fair. I
I
totally
don't
respect that.
know what's trying to be kept under wraps for whatever reason.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just some
So
guy.
you're just Stu. You're just
Yeah.
here. So where can audiences keep up with Screamed and with whatever you're going to be working on? Because our audiences love keeping up with the people that we have on our show.
You can keep up with Majestic by going to, I'm pretty sure it's just Majestic Rep Theater on Instagram. That's where you can find all of their other socials from, can get to their website. And if you want to keep up with me, my username on Instagram is Joey and Iro, who you met earlier, who I don't, I've no, I've no, oh, there he is.
There he is.
He's
We
back.
found him. Hello,
Um,
Ira.
look at him. Look how happy he
Hey.
is. See how it's white? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You just changing colors. Why do you have a hair in your mouth?
Probably enjoys it. That's why it's all white on his neck.
But yeah, you found a snack. But yeah, Joey and Iro on Instagram. If you just look up Joey Derby, I'll probably pop up. But yep, that's how you keep up with me. I don't post. I need to post more. I'm bad at social media, man.
I'm the same way, dude. No
are.
judgment here.
Yeah, but like with this, like I've had people on TikTok tell me you need to post more. And I'm like, no,
I do what I want, man.
and
Well-
yeah, but I would follow the Instagram because they'll post. The Scream is not the only thing this theater has done. It's not the only thing it'll do. That we do a lot of projects. They're actually going to do a production of Ride the Cyclone. If you've heard of that.
Yeah, I heard of that, and I heard
They're-
that I saw that they posted. So, what's the best way that people can support that theater as well? Is it by going in person? By
You can
following?
you can go, you can post us, you can follow us, you can post about us, you can talk about us, you can come see the shows. We are a nonprofit theater and you can donate. We do accept donations. So if you would like to support live theater, local art, you can donate through their website. You can sign up for honestly, it's actually one of my favorite newsletters. It's like one of the least annoying newsletter in my email that they do, and just keeps you up to date on things that are coming up. Keeps me up to date on things that are coming up, and I'm there all the time. So like it's just nice reminders. Yeah. So
Cool.
but yeah,
Well,
talking about us is great because that's how there's been a lot of support for this. That's what's created a lot of buzz around the show, and that's perfectly fine if you just want to say, hell yeah, I love live theater on one of our posts. That's great.
Go support Majestic Theater, and thank you so much, Joey.
All right, well, that was an awesome conversation we had with Joey Derby. And just remember for all our listeners, if you want to learn more about him and his role as Stu in Screamed, be sure to look them up on Instagram at the Majestic Repertory Theatre. And, just if you're ever in Vegas, go check them out. So thank you all for listening, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye now.